Okay, guys, let's jump in here to the predictions, declarations, and I'll just show you what I predicted. So here we go. Here's ExxonMobil. Listen, I know some of you want me to just cover your favorite, but I'm going to run through this fairly quickly. Okay. So here, Zomo, 34 cents. I had 27, so they surprised to the upside. Now there's a slight, I want you guys to know, sometimes they'll say 24.02. These, I do my own calculations, which are correct. They're doing theirs their way, so they're within a percentage point, fractionally within a percentage. I'm going to show you the actual table when I'm done. Okay, so 34 cents on Zomo. All right, let's go to JPMO. All right, so I'm using the close on yesterday. It's the only number we really have, right? That's the latest, greatest price. So now we have 37 cents. Look at JP Morgan. Go, you go. 24.58. So positive, but again, I did something that said the large bankers, okay, the hedge fund type bankers, which JP Morgan is clearly plays in that space, would do better in down markets. But just in general, I think that's a good payout for them considering their average is 36, their median is 31. All right, let's go on. ORC, not a big winner normally. They were underperformed, right? I had 31 cents. They paid 26, so a 33.2 yield because look at that price. A lot of NAV erosion, right? The average is 48. The median is 43. That's close to their all-time low. All right, APLY for Apple. Overpaid from what I had, right? Almost 4 cents, but I like it. For I know there's a lot of people that own APLY. 1737 close, which has been down lately. They've been holding their NAV a lot. They're normally around 38 average and median. They've been as low as 17. Good job, APLY. MSFO, Microsoft. I had them at 44 cents. They came in at 40 and a half. Let's give them 41 for the benefit of the doubt. Still not as good as I thought. 25.25 on the yield, right? Microsoft's holding up pretty well when you figure how long. Well, it's been paying since October, so not quite as long as some of the longer payers. All right, Disney, DISO. Look at this. I had them paying 45. They had a decent month. The actual is under 40. 29.65 yield. This is going to bring your Ymaxes down, people, later. I'll have to do an average, how many were up and how many were down type reporting when I get ready to do the Ymag in about a week from now. Okay, 29.65 on the yield. Here we go, a little closer. GUI. They beat. I had 46 and a half cents. They came in at almost, call it 50 cents. 38.36 yield based on Monday's close. Look at above their average and above their median. They've been as low as 22. They did have a high of 68. All right. Netflix. Look at this beat. Again, I started looking at I'm always a little confused with Netflix. Part of me says you go in a recession or you see recession signs of people not spending. That means they're staying home and cooking and not going out to the movies and not going out. So I've always never seen this, but yet there is some statistics in their guidance that they were expecting subscriptions down. It just means people, I guess, are utilizing. But that's a nice beat. A 10-cent beat on that, 43.43 on the yield. Good job. But it's down quite a bit from their average and their median. I knew they were hurting on their last earnings. Their guidance was taking them down, all of the 1586 on the NAV. But granted, part of that was yesterday. All right. Look at this. I thought AIYY might get to 50 cents. Boy, was I wrong. Let me tell you. Yet, look at the yield, people. On an under $10 stock that probably will get triggered on a inverse split before long. 42.97, they came in at 35.70. And look at this. No, it wasn't showing in their average or their median. They had prior only been 35. So they just broke a new low, which is never a good trend. Yeah, and AIY, AI's been hit hard lately, as you know. PayPay or PP, however you pronounce it. All right. So 1663, I had 47, another disappointer, right? We've had a few on the upside and a few on the downside, but I'd say a few more on the downside. That's not much of a yield. It is a good yield, but not for Yieldmax. So that's underperformed by 12 cents. Look at the average and the median. Is that their all-time low? Yeah, another all-time low. That's never positive. Moderna, let's see. Oh, look at this. They must have listened to me within less than a cent of their, and a nice yield. I mean, they've been beat up, right? But almost 50% on the yield. Um, that's not a new low. They've been lower. They had a 49. They were trending down and they went down, but it's not their lowest. They started at 41 cents. All right, guys, let's keep it going. AMD. All right, now AMD's been up, but look at this. This wasn't up. The stock's been up. It rebounded. It's one of the few green Yieldmax that I saw at all yesterday. So 37.99. They came in 4 cents under. Look at this average in this median. But the semis have been hit. They've been hit pretty hard, although they bounced yesterday. That is a new low, peoples. 44 was the previous low. Again, that's about 3 stocks that underperformed that I wasn't seeing. Okay, look at this one, GDXY. You guys know I report on this and like this. But again, I didn't think the fund managers did a good job. We got capped way too many times. So we're going to have that yield is what their IV is. So it isn't like they deserve all that much more. I just thought the fund managers didn't give them the running room. And I see this as favorable the rest of this month of August. So let's see how it goes, guys. I mean, I was playing wrong, right? I was 10 cents off on that. But sometimes it's wishful thinking, I think, on my part. All right. Facebook, pretty close. I had 74 cents and they were 79 cents. So here's one in the favor, 52.44. Now, again, when you see the sheet that I'm going to show you, it might have a 52.71 or 48. It's just mathematical rounding and how they use it. I'm taking this and multiplying it by 12 and dividing it by the closing price. Okay, so AMZ, here's one that I just shocked. Now, in some fairness, they owed a lot, right, on their liability sheet with this big drop. But I had them just today earlier, $1.14 is what they kicked into the kitty. So they're only choosing to pay them half, saying, we're holding that money back because we've got that loss. Okay, fair enough, but boy, you've taken a high flyer. Granted, they're off, right? Their guidance wasn't what the market wanted to hear. Their earnings beat. So, and then that's not a bad price to be at yesterday after the bloodbath, even though it bounced. That's a poor yield. So I think you AMZ people have a right to be upset. I didn't see the fund managers make any real mistakes with their operation. They did a good job. I think they just chose not to pay. And there's maybe a little fear. Look, we've all been fearful. Maybe the trust in the fund managers and the folks that help guide them in their committee meetings said, "Hey, we can't overpay." Airbnb, look at this, 79. I didn't have a real good read. This is a first payout. I tried to look at how the stock is done and a little bit of what they were writing and their options, but honestly, this was a guess, so I wasn't far off for that kind of a guess. Nice yield though, 53.85. Again, recessions tend to hit Airbnb, so we shall see if we continue in the recession camp. Tesla, I was happy with this. I actually was hoping for $1 because they had over 2 that they earned. But honestly, with some of the liabilities again on the synthetic, I said, I'm going to drop this to the 90 range, and I came in at 87. So I'm a big bull fan of this. I've been adding as it drops. So I'm very pleased with, I'll take the 97 cents to the bank every day. It was only $1 last month, peoples. 100. So nice job. Crash, look at this. Pretty close, about 2 cents, less than 2.5 cents. But again, I worry when these things move too much. You know, the inverses are great, and you're going to see something that's going to blow your mind coming up. But the inverses face the same issue that the long stock do with their synthetics. If they run too far below, they can get capped. But in general, you know, it's not bad to have it. If it's just all down, you're going to do better, even cap, than the long stock is going to do by getting killed, right? So good job, Crash. This is what I was talking about, people. I had, you know, fiat, first payer, right? They just came out. They were only there 3 weeks. Obviously, coin got beat up and beat up bad. Whoops, I got to, oh yeah, fiat. I almost said coin's not at, or Coney's not at 21.71. So this was an indicator. That's why I had it at 82 cents. It's really hard to read. Um, but kudos, look at this. This is the second highest payout this month. 189, way to go, fiat. But again, if we get this bounce, and watch my economic videos, I put out another economic video and said, what should you expect in August right now? Where are we going? All right, good job, fiat. All right, squee. Look at this. This is about the fourth massive disappointer. I think this really hurts Yieldmax, people. There's too many of these down. Yeah, fiat won't even be included because it's a first payer. And I don't think Airbnb will be included either in the Yieldmax payouts this month. So the fact that fiat was so high and had such a great payout, 63 on an 86 cents. Look at what they're averaging. Now, the median tells more of the story. They paid as high as 214 and as low as 38. So that's a big, I mean, being off, call it 64, being off 22 cents, that's 25% off my estimate that it was paid too low. Snowy, a little disappointed in Snowy, but you know, 91 again was a guess on Snowy. They do have a, you know, it's a first payment. First payments are very difficult. You can get lucky and nail the first payment, but it truly is more of a guess. So they underpaid on that, in my opinion. I predicted 91. I wanted to go with the IV, and they didn't pay it. All right, Ybit, another big disappointment, in my opinion. I've been holding Ybit, saying BITO is probably the better way to go. Well, this kind of ensures it for me. Whether I move tomorrow or a few days, I may let this bounce go, but I'm not very happy at all with BITO's payout. I know they got liabilities, but you've been paying $1 when they had liabilities. Um, you know, don't let the sell off just destroy this. They've got the cash. Granted, they got a big liability, right? But now you're changing how you pay them. It's still a good yield, close to 60 cents, especially at this price. So I think if they threw $1, what would happen? People would pile in like crazy. Well, that's good. Now you got more money. If this thing NAV keeps on going down, looking at the market, we're still around 55. So while we bounced up from 49, it's not doing that much in the pre-market. And the yen carry trade is up, people. Coney, you did what I said you would do. I said that Coney should be $1. They've never been below $1. I said my range is $1 to $1.09. They're going to pay in that range. And you know what? Probably rightfully so. Coney didn't earn it. So they chose to make it $1, and then you just run out in the digits. So kudos to them to keeping their premier fund. Now, in 11 months, they didn't hit the total return. But guys, they're like 20 cents, 20 to 30 cents away from being a 100% return. So it's obvious next month they're going to get there in 12 months. Nobody has done that, not even the great Nvidia. Now, Nvidia hits it this month, but they didn't get there in 12 months. It took them 15 months to get the $20 back. All right. Nvidia. Wow. I think people will be disappointed in this Nvidia, especially after they've been, look at this. Well, this harkens back to May, but look at the other payments. 260, 260, 260 in all essence, 250. And you know what? That's what happens when you get capped and you also turn down massively. So even when they turn down massively and they roar back, there was one exception where they went up 13% and they equaled Nvidia. But a lot of times they get capped, guys. That's the problems. It's what Tesla went through. I think Nvidia will continue to bounce. I see around 120 to 126 maybe on the bounce. And then I think they could go back down below 100 again. It's just what I see in August. So anyway, I think it'll disappoint a lot of people, but it's still a great payout at the end of the day. Just not great for Nvidia, the GOAT in many, many ways they are. MicroStrategy, they hit for the cycle. First time, people. Now, this kind of surprises me. They didn't deserve $2. But I said to myself, of any fund, what's the first fund you think of as the highest paying fund? It's MSTY. Yeah, they only had 4 payouts, but they've never been below $2. So if I was Yieldmax, I would have made this 2.00014 or something. And that's kind of what I did. I just said 201. Why not make it? It's a psychological thing. It's still the highest yielder for the month and the highest payout. But what was fiat? 180 something? Or sorry, fiat, the inverse of Coney, of coin. So guys, that's what I got for you. Here's your sheet. If you want to see it real fast, scan yours again, right? Tesla or, okay, there's all your payments. 97 cents for Tesla, APLY 35, $1.25. And this is your alphabetical. This is the order you're used to seeing, right? Netflix, 57, Coney. So there were only, not counting Tesla because it was close, 1, 2, 3, 4 payers in the dollar range this month. MSTY, and where is our 189? Look at that. So you had 4 payments, 3 long stocks, Nvidia, MSTY, and Coney, and then you had 1 inverse. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. Hope you enjoyed that. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Have a great day ahead, peoples. Bye for now.